Hi, friends, and welcome to Oli Green. She has a doctorate in chemistry and later, leaving a long stint with some of the big corporate houses, got into full time bird photography. It's our pleasure and honor to have Jainy Maria Kuriakose as our guest for the day. She travels most of the time to destinations that her heart desires, be it to various places in India and also abroad. And in about a decade, she has documented more than 1,100 birds in our country. Welcome, Janie, to Lee Green. And today, let's try and understand more about her passion.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a great opportunity. So I'll try to, part my information in whichever way I can. Thank you from my side. Thanks.
Okay. A doctorate in chemistry, then working with corporates for a long time. How did this passion of bird watching and bird photography develop? Wasn't it
It
a big
actually
challenge in terms of coming out of a very comfort zone and getting into this kind of a passion?
No, I don't think so. That was a comfort zone. So
Okay.
this is much more. But anyway, yeah, I got the bug while I was working only. I was working in General Motors research and development. So that time, that was my first job right from my PhD. I just joined in Bangalore. So the thing is that then there was we in our group. So I was in chemical engineering group. So one of our senior friends, she has just started, birding. She said, she had been to Goa and she met with some bird watchers, etc. Then okay. So there are people who does kind of bird watching as a hobby in very deep and very passionate way. So I came to know about it, and I just okay, it was in my mind. And then one of our other colleagues, so he had been to Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Karthik Ramanathan. So he just came back. So every week, every Friday, we will have tech talks. And at the end of the tech talks, we will have a high tea. And then we will just have some kind of, extra things in a curricular or apart from the office, what you did in the weekend or something like that, whatever event that you travel to. So some kind of 15-20 minutes talk will be there. So the Karthik came and talked about his recent trip to Andamans. And then he showed some photos. It was not a great photo, but kind of if I tell now, it was not superb photo that it can captivate people. But for me that time, it was 11 years back. It was so captivating, and it's still is fresh in my mind. It is a collared kingfisher photograph. Okay, it is like a beautiful aqua blue is its plumage and white. So it's just sitting on a stalk. And then that is what the photograph was. Wow, beautiful colors. That is I was always into colors. So I have my mother's sisters, everybody is into painting or very arty people. So I could always relate me to that. So wow, beautiful colors. So that was the thing. First time I thought about it when I saw it. And then, wow, this is a good thing. Then I asked my friend Garima, who goes for birding. She was the person who told me about the Goa thing, and then she said okay, if you want to come, we are going to Bangalore, some places in and around Bangalore. If you're free to join. So that was it. So then every weekend we used to go, and one of our friends. So there was this lady birders group. Okay, so we were all women. So one of our friends, Deepa, I think she's a journalist. So she does a great work, also taking people to bird walk and all that. So she had coined the term Bangalore urban lady birders. It's bulbs, BULBS. So Bangalore urban lady birders. So that was so that is how we started off. And then we so that was the beginning. Yes, that was the bug. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, on the challenges of a bird photographer, specific in terms of the time you spend on travel, the time you spend alone in the wilderness. Do you travel in groups or in solo birding trips?
Initially, when I started, it was in groups because that was about 11, 12 years back. It was like in 2009 and all that. So that time it was mostly into groups. Then I figured that, if you have a particular bird or target in your mind, then group becomes a problem, because in the sense, if I want to see a bird or I want to spend more time with the bird, then it was a problem. So then I started traveling solo. So I've been traveling solo from 2011, 2010, like that. So particularly no challenges I have faced that I couldn't handle. It's all about calculated risks which we take, and also about a lot of background work which we do. So if I am planning a trip to some exotic places, then what I do is that basically I will contact the best bird guide or naturalist who can basically come with us, and also give a good idea about the place. So you read, then you talk to people, then so you have some good idea, and then you kind of tell them that these are the birds which I want to see. So we will concentrate on these, focus on these birds, and then if you get extra on the way, that's always a bonus. So that is how I kind of work. So that makes even the guides whom we work with, they're also very comfortable, because if you are pressurizing them, this is why I want, then it might not work, because they will also think that, okay, this lady wants this and she's bugging me types, that also doesn't work. So I always tell them, let's try 100% and go about it. So that's how I travel. And so as I said, I always take calculated risk. So it's not basically challenges, but then challenges can come at any time. For example, one time when I was photographing a lesser adjutant stork. It's a stork
Argila.
near, huh,
Argila bird. Assam.
Assam, yes, that is greater adjutant.
Okay.
So that's less, like, it's more critical. It's an endangered species. This is much more common. We get it in South also. But then anyway, that was in a beautiful field setting there, green field, and the bird was walking. So I went and I tried to get some shots of it. And then when I came back, there were some 20, 30 people around my car, very agitated. And I just what? Then I just kept my cool. And then the question they asked me was where are you from? Then I told, I'm from Bangalore. I'm just a bird photographer. I just came to shoot birds. Then they just immediately they kind of cooled down. Then I took the camera and I showed them, these are the things I took and all that. So what they thought was that, I'm a press reporter or something. And that was a disputed field. And then, some press reporters have come, and then that is what they thought. So you need to keep yourself cool in such situations. My guide was very scared. So I think in these kind of situations, we have to keep ourselves very cool. So there is nothing which, I couldn't handle, but there has been always some situations like this, especially in the Northeast, in Nagaland, all those areas. So you have to tell them that, you cannot just tell them that, I am a bird photographer, blah, 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 from Bangalore. And you cannot show your attitude there. You need to talk to them nicely. And I don't think then people are bad. At least if you give an ear, then you can make them understand why you're there for. So I think that's the way I go about it. Yeah.
Okay. On a personal level, I mean, two questions. On a personal level, what is the kind of satisfaction that you get out of bird photography? Point number one. Second is, what is the message that you're trying to convey through this bird photography?
Yeah, personal satisfaction in the sense, I think it is, to be very frank, when I see, when I take a photograph and when I see it after processed, I think I am the person in the world who enjoys my photograph more than anyone else. I go through it again and again. Wow. I tell to myself, wow, this is good, like that, So this is like a kind of passion for me. And I think it's the love towards the colors, the love toward the subject, whatever you are clicking. It's not like love or something, but you like to see that color, you like to see that behavior. So I think it's toward that passion towards that. And for me, travel is I think travel is for everybody, I think it's a thing which is important for every single soul. I think we are all travelers naturally, but then probably because of so many other things or other limitations, probably we cannot travel that much, or we do not take that much effort to travel. But historically, if you see, we are all travelers, so I love the travel. I like to go around, not only the birds. So wherever I travel, I try to talk to the people, our guides or whoever comes with us, on a personal level. I talk to them that, okay, what is this place? Where are you from? See, what is this place famous for? So it's very culturally very enriching. So for me, I think it's all, these all things I enjoy. Otherwise, I don't think we can travel. Not only for the birds, it's all for the place. The food, I'm I love food. So wherever local specialities are there, I always try to. I do not try much, but if I am not into very much sweet food or very much bland food, as all Keralites are, Kerala background, so I need spice into it. So if I put some extra sauce or something, I make the food palatable for me. So I try to do all these things. So it's an all-compassing kind of feeling for me. It's my travel, my freedom, and awareness. So I think as a person, I've grown so much humble in my perspective when I travel, because when you travel, you see a lot of people, and you, as a human being, we are all very empathetic in our heart, right? So we feel empathy, sympathy, sometimes all these things. So I think as a person also, I've bettered myself. So these are the things which I think inspire me to travel. That is one thing. And the second question, what was that?
What was the message that you're trying to convey
Message.
to you?
Yes. So message, I would say that, for me, my perspective is that you cannot love which you probably cannot see. You need to see the things, or you need to know what it is. Then only you can love that, or you can have some sensitization towards whatever we see. So if you do not see a bird, if you do not know a bird, then probably nobody else kind of also think about it. And people, when you see something, people, wow, this is something like that. In my family also, when I started photography, they used to tell me okay, good, that way. But then when they also started seeing photographs, when also started getting an awareness that, okay, these are the birds which they have in our own courtyard, or our own place in our farm, then that's a change. Practically every relative or every member in my family, they are all into birds now, in the sense not like bird watchers, kind of take camera or something, but my brother also takes some photos, if you see something, and then he sent to me for ID. My mother tells me okay, this is what we saw today, what is this, and we saw this. Everybody, my cousins, my mother's sisters, everybody, so this is the kind of impact we through our photographs, because these are all profound impact which without saying we can cause, because what we see, we can have a lot of impact. People love colors. I'm sure you also, when you get see something beautiful, it's all in us, every human being. So that is the message. So we get sensitized towards the environment we live in, about the nature we are in. So my brother, wow, we have a lot of these birds in our home itself, like that, so we have different 5 types of owl in our Kerala home. Okay, so wow, that is what they all feel. My relatives feel, my friends feel. So whenever they see some clippings on some birds and all, they kind of forward it to me. And I'm very, very proud to see our Lalatan, right, Mohanlal. He also talked to me about it. Once one Vishu, I think our first pandemic, first wave of the our COVID time, Vishu time, I get a message from Lalatan that my name, Pranamam, the kind of humble person he is. Pranamam, I am actor Mohanlal. I came to know about your pictures from actor Sriraman. Sriraman, I know him for some time through the pictures only. So he messages me, and then he he told me that he enjoys seeing my pictures. And also when he sees some video clipping of birds, he just forwards to me. Imagine, he is the kind of a person who's sitting on that level, and then he was a very busy person, and he remembers. So see where you can reach with our passion. It's not any awards, anything like that. It's, I think, our love towards anything speaks and people come to know about it. That's why I'm speaking to you now also. So I think that is the message. I think it's our environment. These are the birds, or these are the environment, because we are a part of them. If something happened to them, it is next we are the people. I mean, we are going to be affected. So this is a chain, we all know. So that is, I think, the message which I try to have, try to give towards the community indirectly through my passion, right?
Okay. Now, I can see your passion. I can see your passion in the way you talk about it. But then this is a passion which requires a lot of time and also money. I mean, it takes away a
Yes,
lot of your resources. But
right.
if somebody wants to take it on a professional level, what
Mhm.
is your suggestion? Maybe for young aspiring photographers, what would be your advice?
Yes. So in India, when I started, there were very few people into photography, especially women. But now the conditions are changing. So there are many young photographers, like, you might have heard about Aishwarya Sridhar. She won the BBC award as first Indian woman to win that award. And it's like extremely proud moment for every people, all of us. So the thing is that we have a lot of opportunities coming up. People are commissioning work. So it's good that, if about, if you're passionate about it, and if you kind of approach many organization which funds, with a good proposal. I think probably people are kind of needed in this. That is really opening up. And another thing is that if you are you cannot see, I do not make money, anything, a single penny out of it, but I always get benefited very in a very good manner that way, because I am I'm a Canon influencer. So I get to know the Canon people. I get to use the latest Canon products in the market. I get for field testing, all this kind of things. So these are kind of benefits. And also, like, our pictures get printed in very international magazines, books. So all these things, it is like, it's, I think, my pictures have been used in at least like 60-70 books as of now, and I get a complimentary copy of all of them. So my bookshelf, I have a lot of complimentary copies, just because I contributed photographs, because instead of taking a monetary remuneration, it's always beneficial to have book, because they have put so much of effort on that. So that is one thing. Another thing, where the way we can make money is through teaching. If you have heard about, like, Radhika Ramaswamy, she's a very good teacher, and she's a very good photographer, and she's one of the first few women who came into this commercially. So she and Sudesh Ram is a very good teacher. Like Sachin Rai, he from Toehold. I mean, earlier he was with Toehold. Now I think he does separately. Jayant Sharma from Toehold. These people are all great teachers I've known. So if you can teach the aspiring people, then that also is a very good way of probably making money, and also conducting tours. So you can take people, and then you take people to the exotic destinations. I know so many tour operators in the country now, so many, even in birding in Northeast, all the guides are all for booked for like probably a year, like that everywhere. So there are opportunities for people who have very coordinating abilities, capabilities. I am not one of them, so I don't know any of this, but then once a while I enjoy doing workshops and all that. But it can be a profession. It can be done in a monetary with a monetary aspect in mind. So there are openings now for people to make money, conducting tours, conducting workshop, teach people, and then all this you can get all these opportunities now, commissioned projects. So there are opportunities now. So for aspirants, they don't have to be really desperate, get frustrated about probably there are no opportunities. It's not like that's opening up. We have like opportunities now. I think people can all try. Yes.
Okay. Now this passion has taken you to a lot of places, both in India and abroad.
Mm-hmm.
What will be your favorite location for bird photography? And can you explain a couple of experiences that you would cherish?
Yes. So it's like that is your perception. I mean, you means generic. Our perception rather, that whether photographing is your priority, or birding is your priority, or whether whether what you want to see that bird as. That is the priority. Say, for example, in India, one of the places I would love to go again and again is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, and also Northeast, because Northeast is so good for biodiversity. If you go make 1 week trip, you will at least come with some good photos. But in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, maybe you may not come, but because the biodiversity, the bird diversity is very less, and probably you may not get it in very good perch. So you may not come with good photos. But still, I like to go there because of the sheer beauty of that place, the sheer feeling you get to go there. And also that kind of, there's one endemic, Nicobar endemic, it's called Nicobar spurfowl. It's a very drab colored bird, a very prehistoric looking bird. But, to see that bird in that setting is like something which is like very exhilarating. So, it need not be all the places might not be photography friendly, because these are all like in very thickets. You cannot make photos, you may not get some good photos also. So that's a challenge to go there, find your angle, take your pictures. But even if you don't get that pictures, the joy of being there is something which is very cherishable. So that's about in India. And abroad, there have been many places which have been like, Papua New Guinea, West Papua. All these are like very good places. Papua New Guinea, it was like very difficult for us because we had to go in a group. Because the place is still like, kind of getting familiarized with the tourists. So it was like not such difficult kind of expedition. We could, wherever the birds are there, we could go there, some kind of, it was like kind of smooth. We didn't have to do a lot of expedition. But West Papua is a different thing. If you want to see black sicklebill, you have to climb Arfak Mountains. No shortcuts. You have to climb. So, but the photographs may not be very rewarding, but still for the feel of it, you climb. And that is one place which I would always cherish. West Papua is amazing. You may not, the birds of paradise, of course. So you may not come with photos, but the feel of these birds of paradise, they're, you might have seen some videos by Tim Lamon and all that. They're like amazing how they can, do in such exotic, dances to kind of attract their the female partners. I mean, it's like amazing. So sometimes you just enjoy it. So you may come with very grainy photos, but you will enjoy it. So that is one. Then Alaska, I went for the snowy owls. Snow owls are one of my favorite group of birds. It's not everything is favorite, but owls stand probably a little bit high. So Alaska, I wanted to see the snowy owl. And it was like, I got some information from some of the researchers that probably they might be nesting that time. And it was in summer, July. So so in the summer, they have the 24 hours light. So it doesn't mean that, you have very bright light. After about 8:30, 9:30, the light started fading. And towards the mid of the night, it's like faint light. So, I think I've sent you a photograph of that also to show along with the video, along with our conversation. So that photograph was taken at 1:30 a.m. in the night. So that time, even though it is summer, it's the Arctic tundra, right? You feel always cold, especially from a South Indian background. When you go, you feel always cold. And also it was raining. Raining means a very strong drizzle. It was not too much very cat and dogs rain, but it was very strong drizzle, and then wind blowing. And then the Arctic tundra is like, when you keep your feet, the feet goes a bit down. It's like that permafrost layer under. So our feet just always kind of just go a bit. So then, and it's watery. So then, even if you wear, like you say, that it's waterproof shoes or not, the water will kind of make its way, and sort of capillary action happens. It comes up all the way to like, above your knees. Then it is like, you are completely in an uncomfortable situation, but then the bird makes it for that. So then that was one experience which I felt like, like I'm like, breathing, and then cut to, because I do handheld photography, I had to battle with that inclement weather condition to get that shot. So most of these high altitude shoots, even in our Ladakh, North Sikkim and all, these are like very high altitude places, right? Arctic tundra, altitude wise, it was like zero, but then the point is that wind and all, it always takes a toll on you. So that is once difficult conditions of shot, but I enjoyed it. Then Ladakh is another favorite area where I always love to go. But then these are the kind of situations which we face. We also face heat haze there. So you need to get close to the subject as much as to get clear shot. Otherwise, your shots will always be not sharp, be soft because of the heat haze. So these are the places where you feel like you always take deep breath and then you shoot. So later, one of the latest experience was in Ecuador. We were in Ecuador, and then there's this Paramo region in Ecuador. It's Papalacta. So we went for the rufous-bellied seed snipe there, and it was like the weather was reasonably okay for us. But then, when in the afternoon, when the weather went bad, we were thinking, oh, we were lucky in the morning to get that shot, because the wind just, it's too much. And you cannot hold your camera straight. Your nose will be leaking, and all these things happen. So these are the situations which we do it. But then it always make up for it when you look back. It's always very cherishing. So that is, I think, the passion which which I have, and it keeps me going that way. You need to have something to make you go, right? These are the things which let me do it. Let us find it like that. So it's very, that is how it is. I think I'm a very self-motivated person that way.
It's really, the energy is infectious.
Thank you.
Transmit a lot of energy.
Yes.
Looking forward, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Or what do you want to do in 10 years from now?
The future is not ours to see, that. No, that's
right.
all.
Yes. But then there will be some vision for you, right?
Yes, I understand. But then, I actually love to take as much of birds as much as possible, shots. Then on that pretext, I get to travel to a lot of places. So my travel bucket list is endless. My whole life probably is not enough. I'm sure it is not. Probably it is. Surely it is not enough. But then on the pretext of going for birds, I get to travel. So it's like traveling. I want to go to one of my destinations which I always want to go is Antarctica. Hopefully, Balan Madhavan. Probably you might have heard about him. He's a very renowned photographer from Kerala. And elsewhere also. Many accolades to his gap. So Balaton, he had organized Antarctica tour, couple of, maybe like 5 years, 5 to 6 years back. And I think he is working probably for another trip. So if I get a chance, that would be really, really great. So Antarctica is one favorite place which I really want to go. I have been in Arctic, so Antarctica is like one. Then all the South American countries, all the other Southeast Asian countries which I have not been, all the places where a lot of bird life and a lot of places to see. I enjoyed Ecuador a lot. I enjoyed Costa Rica a lot. So probably if all goes well, then probably next couple of weeks I could get a chance to go to Colombia. So Colombia is another place where so these are the things which I look forward to. So and I have a very total support from my family back home, and also here my husband. So the thing is that that is how I go on, because traveling is not possible when you work when you're committed towards work. So my brother my brother and me, we run a software company in Kochi, so he takes care of most of the stuff. So the thing is that we have a very good support. I'm very fortunate that way, privileged that way, that I get a good support. So that is why I go on. So it's I think people recognize my passion and everyone supports me, and that's why I feel that I'm blessed. And so let us see what happens. So I love to cover all these areas for birds and for culture and for food. Yes.
A lot of things.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. All these things will happen. Our wishes are there. One last thing. What will be your message if a newcomer comes into this bird photography, birding and all? What will be your message to them? Simple message. Not in terms of gear.
Yeah, it's like, just go for it if you like it. You don't worry about your gear. You do not worry about what your achievements will be. But just just follow your heart, and if you like it, I think you can excel in what you do. And then if you are a little bit more into go getter, if you want to get it done, there is nothing which stops you, and you can try to get into people or corporates who can fund, or agencies or organization which you can fund, which can fund you. So there is nothing that stops you. Just try out, and you need not basically go to exotic location. You can just watch birds or whatever around your surroundings, and then go for it. That's all. We don't know where it takes us, but passion always will have a way, I think. If you like it, you will get there somehow. It's that will which I think our mind has the power to move all the hurdles and move on. I think that is what I think I should give the message as. Just go for it. Whatever you like, that's it.
Thanks, Jainy. Thanks a lot. It was a real energy booster for me too the last half an hour. Thanks a lot for being with us. Wishing you all the very best. Whatever you have planned for, whatever your dreams are, let it come true. Our best wishes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And it's a great opportunity when you speak to people. That also is kind of a lot of confidence built up in you. The more you talk, the more you have that energy also. It's all infectious, one place to the other. So that is how it is. So I enjoyed talking, and thank you. And let's meet sometime later. Some other topic. And before I conclude, I just wanted to ask you, what is your motivation behind, to have this only green? I saw the word as only green. What is your motivation to do this, and how are you, how are you basically into it? I mean, are you a birder, or are you
No, I'm not any of these. I mean, for a living, I run an architectural interior consultancy firm. But then this is always a passion. I mean, what you leave for the next generation was always a passion, and that's how we got into it. Okay, we always thought that it is our responsibility to leave this world, make this world a better place, a greener place for our future generations. And this is one platform where you can interact with people who are in this domain, get this message out to more people, and that's how we are there in Only Green.
Right. Thank you. I think that's a great thing, because this is not any commercially viable kind of, most at this point of time, it's not that much, but because, you were telling that you were into something else profession, but then these kind of small time which we spend towards something which we love to do is, that is what makes all the difference, So that way, thank you so much. It's a great platform for us to interact with others as well.